Live, local, late breaking. This is NewsWatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:30 on July 15th. Welcome to NewsWatch 12 this morning. I'm Carlos Murrieta. We're taking a live look at out Phoenix by the Lazy Boy Furniture Galleries. We first want to turn over to Storm Tracker 12 meteorologist Sarah Crest to get a look at our Tuesday shaping up to be. And Sarah, is going to be a little bit of a similar narrative than yesterday.
Well, we're still expecting a pretty hot day across the region for us, maybe a few degrees cooler, but if you're into that sunshine, you'll be feeling that heat for sure. But something we're also keeping a close eye on this morning is air quality and smoke into the sky. A look out at the Hagelstein fire this morning. As of last night, it was burning at about 80 acres. We're still waiting for an official update on how much more has burned overnight. But what I can tell you is looking from satellite, it is burning hot. And a look out at our cameras, we are seeing quite a bit of smoke being produced from this fire. So look at your air quality report this morning. Klamath Falls is seeing unsafe for sensitive groups. And as we're into Mount Shasta from the green fire burning a little bit south, we also are seeing some impacts to our air quality this morning. But a look out at Klamath Falls, you can definitely see some smoke into the horizon this morning. We can expect to see hazy skies at times today, and we could even see this a little bit worse across the region for us tomorrow. But tracking out in that near surface smoke, we weren't able to track it out of models last night, but we are getting a little bit better of a picture this morning. But we will likely see areas of smoke today. If you do see if you're likely seeing some smoke into your area, just make sure you're planning for some breaks to head indoors. But in terms of temperatures today, it is still going to be feeling pretty hot for us, maybe a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but overall not going to be too great to be heading outside at times, especially later into the day. You're going to want to be in that air conditioning. We're also keeping a closer eye into this afternoon and evening, where we can see an isolated thunderstorm develop into Siskiyou County and even into portions of Klamath and Lake. It will be rather isolated in nature. We're not completely ruling out that chance. Now also today is the opening day of the Jackson County Fair. We'll be feeling pretty hot if you're heading outdoors, but I'll take a closer look at what you can expect around the rest of the region and even this heat in the days to come, coming up in your next forecast.
And back on the fire watch this morning, the Hagelstein fire in Klamath County, just west of the Elk Fire near Bonanza, is burning at an estimated 80 acres. The fire is burning just off Highway 97 near Modoc Point. And right now you're looking at footage recorded around 9:30 yesterday evening. Crews from the Elk Fire were on the scene overnight to help attack this new fire. And as of right now, there are no evacuations. And checking in with the Elk Fire, the weather has continued to test the fire lines as crews continue to reduce those fire fuels. Firefighters say unburned fuels near the perimeter have been catching on fire, but crews have been able to quickly extinguish them. Better mapping shows the fire to be nearly 2,700 acres with 22% containment, and all previous evacuations remain in place. A temporary flight restriction is also in place for the fire. And the Neal Creek fire is at 20% containment and mapped at 250 acres this morning. Jackson County Sheriff's Office downgraded all zones to level 1B ready evacuations. Firefighters are in mop-up operations but continue to face a difficult terrain as well as rolling debris. And the Six Rivers National Forest says the Butler fire has grown to 8,156 acres and is still burning with no containment. The fire reached the outer edges of the Butler Flats and nearby communities. Luckily, structure protection work put in place earlier in the week held strong, which prevented damage to homes. All previous evacuation orders are still in place. And as wildfires continue to burn in southern Oregon, the Phoenix Talent School District is stepping up to support those on the front lines. The district opened its campus up to accommodate a temporary spike camp for firefighters battling the Neal Creek fire near South Ashland. The camp started last Friday with a total of 200 fire personnel from ODF and CAL FIRE. The camp provides showers, bathrooms, and even air-conditioned tents called yurts. Yurts is for those sleeping during the day. That way, crews can avoid sleeping outside in the extreme heat.
We didn't have this spike camp, those firefighters would be driving about an hour every day. So having this camp here is just making it a little bit easier for them to get back and forth, to have a little bit more downtime when they aren't working, and get that much more sleep.
There's also a place to do laundry as well as a medical tent. Brent Berry, the superintendent for Phoenix Talent Schools, emphasized the importance of supporting the firefighting efforts any way the district can. And as firefighters are responding to these fires, they often use terms like lined, contained, and mop up. The Oregon Department of Forestry is sharing what those terms mean when they're responding to those fires. Control lines, fire lines, and perimeter lines all essentially mean removing vegetation from around the fire to stop the forward progress. This can be done multiple different ways, including by hand or using a bulldozer. ODF's Natalie Weber says containment is more than just fire lines.
When we release a percentage of containment, what that really looks like is that percentage of the line is holding, it has depth, and we haven't seen any signs of heat, smoke, or fire on it.
After containment is established, firefighters will ensure the fire is completely out. This involves feeling for heat and drowning ashes in water. This prevents the chances of fire reigniting. In new this morning, a number of Democratic-led states are suing the Trump administration to try to unfreeze nearly $7 billion in public education money. California and Oregon are among those states. The states accuse the Department of Education of unlawfully locking up funds that Congress has set aside to help low-income and immigrant students, among others. This legal action is the latest this year between states and the federal government over the Trump administration's decision to pause or take back federal aid. The new case involves more than 20 Democratic state attorney generals and 2 Democratic governors. And Oregon Senator Ron Wyden has introduced a bill aimed at ensuring immigration enforcement officers display clear identification during public enforcement actions. The Visible Identification Standards for Immigration-Based Law Enforcement Act, or the Visible Acts of 2025, seeks to prohibit officers from concealing their identities with unmarked tactical gear and face coverings. It requires that immigration officers wear some type of identification that includes their agency's name, their last name, or badge number that's clearly visible from at least 25 feet away. In continuing our coverage of the Rafters who got stuck during a night float on Saturday, the Josephine County Sheriff's Office has now cited 13 people for unsafe boating operations. This comes after 5 people had to be rescued and 7 more had to be helped to safety during the River Glow float in Grants Pass. Some people lost their flotation devices and several others were not wearing life jackets. No injuries were reported, but several miles of river was checked to ensure everyone was safe. The Sheriff's Office says 4 agencies responded to the incident, which spanned approximately 3 hours. And with the Jackson County Fair this week, a temporary trail closure will be in place for the Bear Creek Greenway beginning today. The trail will be closed to all recreational users between Pine Street and Upton Road in Central Point. The closure runs through July 21st, but fairgoers will still be allowed to access the area. And if you're planning on heading out to the fair this week, there's some new changes when it comes to parking. Parking in the north, east, and west lots on Penninger Road will be $10 a vehicle Wednesday through Saturday, but parking is free on those lots on Tuesdays and Sundays. There will also be a free shuttle service from Crater High School Football Stadium or from the back 40 off Gerber Road. ADA parking is available in the north parking lot and at Gate E. And from STEM education to career training, Pacific Power is helping nonprofits across Oregon expand opportunities for students. That includes a new project coming to the YMCA in Medford. The Pacific Power Foundation's latest round of grant funding includes several Southern Oregon groups, from the Applegate Watershed Council to Oregon Tech. The Rogue Valley YMCA received $5,000 to create a makerspace inside its youth center, offering hands-on activities for kids who walk or bike there after school or during the summer.
A 3D printer and some project supplies so they can do some woodwork and leather work and some other things where it's like hands-on, and they have some real tangible projects that they can be proud of and they can bring home, and hopefully then we have some happy parents as well.
The YMCA says it will begin ordering supplies right away, with the goal of having the space up and running in the coming weeks.